wouldn't like to live with less pain, stress, fear, and anxiety? Wouldn't you?
You bet.
You bet. I mean, you'd have to be pretty stupid to turn that down. If we could just take a pill or a class or read a book and everything would get better and stay better. Wouldn't that be great? Look, we want to feel good. We're not paid enough. And there's the kids and the neighbors, the traffic. We got to get some relief. Our mate doesn't appreciate us. There's criticism and neglect. We're frustrated. So we find a substance, a Marlboro, a secretary, a football team chips, and a six-pack. Sometimes we end up depressed, diseased, divorced, in rehab. You're always going to have a problem. If it's not your love life, it's your job. It's a soap opera out there. Forget about it. Someone's going to mess with someone they shouldn't. All hell is going to break loose. If we can manage our emotions, if we have the tools to soothe ourselves in a healthy way, then we won't be reaching outward for the tools of destruction. We can come up with solutions that will result in a happier outcome. Yeah, nice thought, but it's so much faster to just have an affair and a pizza. Liquor's quicker. The mall's right over there. I got plastic. I'm saying plastic. I'm Susan Stadner, and I am a substance abuse counselor. I'm also a drug addict and an alcoholic, among other things. And I've been sober since December 1982. Today's topic is, why do some people kill themselves just trying to feel good? Who wouldn't like to just take something and permanently transform into confident, relaxed, happy, skinny, rich? Unfortunately, it doesn't come in a bottle. I know, I looked. Temporary happy, oh yes, there are many bottles for that. Big ones with liquid, little ones with pills. But the unhappy that follows bites. Alcohol is the third leading cause of death in humans. But until it annihilates you or your family, it's just another statistic. When in denial, we don't see what we don't want to see. If there's something awful and we don't think we can change it, then thinking about it would just be an exercise in frustration, wouldn't it? We like to do what we're good at, like shopping and eating. I'm very good at eating. So why would I think about issues that I'm powerless over when I can eat? Right?
Right.
Right. But how is it possible to totally deny the obvious? A client asked me how the Kevin Kline character in the movie In and Out could not have known that he was gay. Works like this. Let's say you have a landmine buried in the backyard. You know the corner where it's buried. So you make an agreement with yourself not to go there. Oh, you'll go all over the other parts of the yard except there, because you know there is bad. There means pain. Other people may want you to go there. They think you should go there. It's obvious to them that you need to be going there. But no, you don't want things blowing up or coming out, not when you don't think that you can handle, manage, or contain the impact. One day, while rummaging through some built-in drawers in my closet, I spotted several brown oblong pellets. I briefly looked at the objects of undetermined origin, thinking, my goodness, they look just like rat turds. They looked like rat turds? What did I think they were, offspring of the gym tights? But I dismissed the idea of rat droppings. I mean, what would rats be doing in my drawers? Besides, I was on a mission to find an article of clothing. I didn't have time for rats. In order to acknowledge that they were rat droppings, I'd have to admit to having a rat problem. Didn't want a rat problem. I had a history of avoidance. When I was 21, living with Mark, the arch-conservative, I had to live by his rules, one of which was no marijuana or marijuana-smoking friends in his house. So I was reduced to taking my bong out on the balcony, only on weekends and only when he was drunk. Another rule, no drinking till after 5 p.m. Well, one day it was about 4 p.m. And I was waiting for Mark to come home. He was a motivational speaker and was coming back from galvanizing a room full of people. He was less positive at home. And I was looking nervously at the front door. Did I have time to go over to the wet bar, pour myself a drink, brush my teeth, and get into the kitchen so I could look busy cooking before Mark opened the door? No, I concluded. I didn't have time to pour a drink. I'd have to chug it from the bottle. Smart! Drinking was my method of coping. Vodka made living with Mark possible. Often, if we stop drinking, we have to start thinking. The thought of leaving him was even scarier than staying. So I crossed over to the bar. I picked up the Smirnoffs, twisted off the top, chugged it. The warmth of the liquid going down would soon be accompanied by a feeling that everything was gonna be okay. And it would be okay for several hours, till I would say the wrong thing and we'd end up punching each other. Bruised and in despair, I would lock myself in the bathroom whimpering, wondering how I could kill him and get away with it. I could kill him, I just couldn't leave him. So, gulping the vodka at the wet bar, my eye was anxiously on the front door. I had the thought, wow, if I ever play an alcoholic on stage, this would be just how to do it. Because this is just like an alcoholic drinks. Just like. You think? Yes, I had a shot now and then. You would too if you lived with Mark. Me have rats? No, I couldn't think about any of that. I had pressing matters. I had to go watch Jeopardy. Because I didn't already feel stupid enough, I had to make sure. If I had slowed down to think, to investigate my behavior, I might have had to change the behavior. Couldn't. Didn't know how. So I binged and stayed in abusive relationships for another 10 years. You can practice avoidance for years if you have a little help from Seagram's, Hollywood, your dealer, and Frito-Lay. I dealt with the rats in the drawer only after the little fellas started bringing home pool toys from neighbors' yards. And of course, when my behavior problem became too big to ignore, I mean big, I weighed 160 pounds, only when Mark hit me and loosened a tooth, when my back was against the wall, would I finally ask for help. I got rid of the rats by using the magic words, I need help. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of intelligence. Whether it's AA or a guy with a decal of a dead bug on the van, let them help you. Now that it's behind me, I can laugh. As a matter of fact, I still refer to it as the rat drawer, as in, honey, go to the rat drawer, get me the ski socks. By the way, I ran into Mark 10 years ago. He gained 80 pounds, joined John Birch, and was lobbying for leaner gun laws. I had a pang of compassion. If only I had seen back then that under the false bravado that Mark was just a frightened boy who felt unloved. Sure, he was unloved. He was a jerk. It's difficult to be kind to jerks, but by giving obnoxious people a bit of gentle concern, loving attention, by listening, by saying things like, I bet that hurt, huh? You're scared, you're worried, you're disappointed. By showing a little empathy, they often become less repulsive. I call it hugging the porcupine. You know, most of the sadistic fiends who terrorize us are just big boys who didn't get what they really needed as little boys. There's a saying in 12-step programs, my worst day sober is better than my best day drinking. Hello, and how would that be possible? Do you know the fun I had drinking, the sex, the plane flights, and sober, the worst feelings, thought I would die. But before sobriety, that would be BS, I knew that I was trapped, a prisoner of my addictions, unable to fulfill my potential. It's hard to live up to your potential on the couch. Today, I have power. But back then, it wasn't always that way. I'll give you an idea of what it used to be like. Before I got sober in 1982, I would get up in the morning. Hey, 11:50 is still technically morning. And if I had finished the last of the downers the night before, I would have to get out of bed without one. Oh, please, a day without downers was like a day without sunshine. I usually stashed a couple of Quaaludes, also known as Gorilla Biscuits, in a sock in the bottom drawer of the nightstand. Didn't you? It would give me the energy to get out of bed. There's nothing like the first buzz of the day. However, if the night before I had snorted a gram of cocaine, I would exhaust my stash, because I couldn't hoard on cocaine. Cocaine made me nervous. Not as nervous as running out of cocaine, and I would use the downers to take that edge off. I was not blessed with honorable drug dealers. They used to cut or dilute my cocaine to stretch profits. They would use baby laxative, amphetamines, Ajax. My nose would burn. And I'd also wear down the carpet pacing. I would notice the worn state of the carpet because at 5 a.m., my vial of cocaine now being empty, I was on all fours hunting for the rock that might have dropped at midnight when I was less careful. I'd be crawling by the coffee table while my date would be naked and crawling by the window. So I'd fix myself a little snack. And while eating, of course, you need entertainment. There'd be an old movie on TV. I'd roll another joint, just to help me back out of the garage without anxiety. And there it was, 6 p.m., another day gone. I never quite made it out the door, which was a blessing because as an agoraphobic addict, I never killed anyone while driving. Then when the guy I married in Vegas, would come home and ask why I hadn't done the laundry, I'd say I was busy. The joke in recovery goes, how do you know when an addict is lying? Their lips are moving. People who are ashamed about their behavior rearrange the truth. I'd lie about how much I drank. I would water down the liquor at home to make the bottles appear less empty. One day, he came home with a vodka that you keep in the freezer. The following day, he went to work. I went to work on the vodka. Oops, drank too much. Uh-oh, he'll be mad now. So I refilled the bottle with water, thinking how clever, because vodka, like water, was clear. Who'd know? The only thing is that vodka doesn't freeze. Water does. To my horror that evening, when the bigamist pulled the frozen vodka bottle out of the freezer, he had a look on his face. I, not missing a beat, said, how do you like that? A defective bottle. I would take that back to the liquor store. It's not supposed to freeze, you know. The man cheated on me. He lied. He didn't come home at night. What he did. But even though I didn't like or respect him, I didn't want the bigamist to think badly of me. Luckily, he was stoned on pot and wasn't thinking very clearly. But one night, after I'd been falling down and slurring in public, he threatened me. He said, if you don't get sober, I'm out of here. Uh-oh, you can't go. I don't have a job. Also, I had no friends left. Suicide prevention used to hang up on me. Once more, he's got the clothes in the trunk of the car, and I'm on my knees begging him to stay, promising to get into recovery. I thought, I'll go to one meeting, and I'll talk about it for 2 months. But I liked the meeting. I found my people. They were like me, nuts. I also began therapy, and I learned how to deal constructively with fear. And when I was 6 months sober, I left him. But I don't look like an alcoholic, you say. You'd be surprised to learn who's a member of the club. Yes, I've changed. A little. But if you think of alcoholism and drug addiction as a disease, then you can see that when you're sick, you look, feel, and act differently than when you're not sick anymore. I wasn't bad and now I'm good. I was sick and now I'm healthy. Everything changes eventually. The month before I got sober, I was diagnosed with liver disease. I was so tired I'd have to take a nap after getting up in the morning. But giving up drugs and alcohol, hell, you would have thought I was losing my best friend. I was. They were the best pals a gal could have. We went out together. We went to class together. They were there every time I got dumped or fired. I really missed chemicals. I grieved. But it turned out to be a really great gift. I marvel at how today I can just leave the house within an hour. Faster if there's an earthquake. I don't regret the past. I have an empathy and an understanding of the profoundly sick which I did not have before I got sick. And my past helps me to appreciate today. All any of us have is today. And that's often more than we can handle. In therapy, it became clear that my problems stemmed from childhood. What a shock. I saw how the demons from my past destroyed any chance of feeling good. I got angry, I got sad, and I got to understand how I couldn't have done any better than I did. I realized that the reason that I couldn't leave the house besides being attached to the sofa, was terror. I mean, what would you think of me? If you insulted me or rejected me, I'd just die. I had to learn how to respond to disapproval in a non-flattening way. It was hard. I didn't want to give up the only way I knew how to live. I clung to my old behavior like saran wrap to a piece of cheese. I was off drugs and booze, but I still had the defense system, the voices that would warn, heads up, got incoming. Here comes the humiliation, rejection, validation of low self-worth. Here comes the confirmation that life sucks. Warning, warning, go home, turn on the TV. Stop first for food. It's killer out there, killer, I say. The opportunities for despair and anxiety are out there. You leave the house, you get snubbed, rejected, abandoned, ridiculed. So you either stop leaving the house or you hate leaving. You may take a little something to leave. I didn't leave for 2 years. I was haunted. Oh, what they did to me. Oh, what I did to me. Our beliefs about ourselves and the world may be based on a faulty premise created in early development. It's not safe to reveal your feelings, hide, lie, fight. The premise may be archaic, but you're still operating from it. I would sing and write and date and dance and audition and leap for joy, but I'm sober now. And what if you think I'm weird? If you think I'm weird, you won't hang out with me or promote me. Who will I live with? What about money? In recovery, you face your pain. Oh no, anything but that. Pain is something most of us like to avoid. Browse the Advil aisle of any pharmacy. And that's only dealing with physical pain. Psychic distress is a whole other aisle. Can you imagine using the same computer or software that you used 10 years ago? But you know, people don't really change as much as they grow. They can grow meaner, more bitter, more fearful, lonely, or you can grow up a notch. You expand, you learn, you risk. Oh no, I can't risk. Many of us resist change. We long to get control of our circumstances so that we can feel safe. I started trying different ways to live only after I discovered how to survive the attacks and defeats. It's not that I was so afraid of what you might say. I was afraid that I would take your criticism or rejection or abandonment and run deep into the end zone of despair. I'd be in the self-doubt hell. Your coldness would flatten me. Your refusal to love and accept me would affirm my primal premise that the world is evil. And fat, stupid losers like me, who sweat too much, shouldn't go outside. My formula for recovery is based on 15 years of experience of regularly falling on my ass and then getting up again. You know, like a baby trying to walk. I didn't become a therapist, an aerobics instructor, a writer, and a workshop leader by sitting around scratching and wishing that things would get better. I had to learn how to trust myself and to like who I was. It's not easy to do every day, but I'm able to get out of the house today because I now trust that I will survive any horrible thing you may say or do to me. Just don't test me, okay? When I got sober, I gained 15 pounds. You know, you stop cocaine, you start eating. And once I start, well, you better hold on to your matzo balls. So I joined a gym. There were 2 aerobics instructors that I liked, and after one class, I, totally inspired, went up to the instructor. I enthusiastically told her that my background was in dance and that I'd love to teach class. She looked at me and said, well, you're going to have to lose at least 20 pounds. So I went home and ate a cake and a can of Pringles. I did the best I could at the time. The next day, I told the other instructor what had happened. She said, you put together a music tape, choreograph a routine, and audition for me. I auditioned, despite the fact that I was too fat to be an instructor. I got the job. I taught aerobics for 14 years. And last week, I was at the sports club. A woman passed by as I'm on the pec builder. It's a machine you do like this on. And I think, I know that woman, but something is wrong with this picture. Then it hits me. It's the instructor who had hurt my feelings, only she'd put on at least 20 pounds. She was on her way to teach class. I guess she'd been mistaken. You can be hefty and teach class after all. I got off the machine and I went to take her class. Did I say anything to her? No need. She did the best she could at the time. And I'm a size 5 now. It pretty much spoke for me.
I love it.
Okay. Was that too mean? Was that too awful? I'm going to get phone calls. Bitch! Who do you think you are? You should be a 3. And you know I'll believe them. Oh my God, I did look fat on that show. I was bloated. Look, 15 years is a long time to go without a screwdriver. The desire to get loaded surfaces as I struggle with the psychological octopus, the tentacles that penetrate my brain, causing fear and self-doubt. But I manage it today. I know how to soothe myself. I don't feel guilty about feeling bad anymore. I mean, who says you have to be happy all the time? I still have cravings. In an addict, the brain forms pathways. Once a mind learns how to quickly go from pain to pleasure, it can learn it and crave it forever. So that's a good reason to avoid experimenting with drugs. You might like it too much. Now, don't put yourself out there, Larry. You know, you just don't. He's like,
Oh.
his feet are up. He's like, can I get your coffee, dear? No, put your feet back up. Look at this. No, 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 I like it. Relax, have a good time, enjoy. I think I may have a donut in the purse. Would you like? So I'll give you an example of the permanence of addiction. Last month, I had the laser operation to correct vision. Got tired of those glasses. So I went to see Dr. James Sauls. He's at Cedars. Checked him out. He's the best. The best. He's done hundreds of procedures. He's in a book called Beyond Glasses. He's so kind. He doesn't make me wait. He never made me feel rushed. Yes, he's a real doctor. And he gave me Valium for the operation. The procedure itself did not hurt. They used numbing drops, but the Valium would relax me. Yes, it did. Yaha. So I'm lying on the table. Dr. Sauls is talking in my ear in a soothing voice. Just keep your eye on the red light. And I come on to the Valium. And that red laser light becomes the Aurora Borealis. Hello. It's a show, you pay for it, IMAX. I am feeling no pain. I'm wanting them to turn on the stereo. Give me earphones. And I got a Davida, baby. I'm having acid flashbacks. I wanted to get up and make phone calls. Didn't want to waste the high. I was going to call a TV exec who didn't understand why I should have a national show on Valium. I was going to explain it to him. I'm tripping. I'm feeling like a perfect child of the universe with a right to be here. And that's when I realized I needed more. I said to Dr. Sauls, I need more Valium, doc. He says, you're doing okay. It's almost over. I mean, the operation takes 18 seconds. It's not likely the drug was going to wear off. But I needed more, man. Give me my Valium. So after the operation, I come down and I'm experiencing withdrawal. More, please. But there was no more. Luckily, the depression was replaced by the high that came from seeing. I exercise better without contacts. I swim. I see the numbers on the clock in the middle of the night. My get-ready time's shorter. My eyes don't sting every night. I don't fall asleep with my glasses on. I'm saving a fortune on solution and designer lenses. I love saving money. That's a high. It's a miracle. It's like magic. You know, you can still get high when sober. For me, it happens in aerobics and after surgery. What a world. You know, if I hadn't given up getting loaded, I'd have missed computers and lasers and friendships and dancing and my mother. Well, actually, I guess my mother would have missed me. We live in the most incredible time. Look at the advances being made in the world of technology. Our psychological status must leap as well, or at least move up a little. Yup, we'll have growing pains, but we must evolve or suffer. And while growing, we must be kind to those on the rung below us. No one is spared. The successful ones, the skinny and rich, they may look like they got it all together, but mostly they just look like they got it all together. I know, because they come to me for therapy. They are fighting that octopus too. So be brave, be yourself. Being yourself can be a good thing. Thanks for watching. See you on the campus.